Hey team, I'm gonna replace some of the seals on the front of my Case 850 Dozer. I have the blade off right now. I'm doing some repairs on it. There's another video in my link for what I'm doing with the blade. While I have it off, the tilt cylinder is leaking, and I know it's hard to see, but let's see if I can point here. This is actually upside down. The cylinder's upside down. This pin here goes down at the bottom, and then that one will connect to the blade itself, and then the blade tilts in this direction, driven by extension of this cylinder. So what I'm gonna do, I've already done, I'm taking off this cap. I'll leave the cylinder attached, the housing attached, the tube I guess it's called, attached to the Dozer, and then I'll pull out the rod, all of the seals inside, and then I'll put that part on the bench and then reinstall it. This is a specialty tool. It's it's like a spanner wrench. I'm not sure what the exact name is. It's got these little tits on it that fit inside of the face, and you just basically spin it counterclockwise with a nice big breaker bar, and you can disassemble that. So I'm going to take this off, pull out the rod, put the rod on the bench, and replace the seals. There's hundreds of videos of people rebuilding hydraulic cylinders. What you don't see very often is how you get this rod out. So what I like to do is, again, leave it connected to the piece of equipment. I'll start up the Dozer, and I'll activate this cylinder to where it extends it, and then this rod will pop out on its own. Hopefully I'll catch most of the fluid in this bucket here, and then I'll take this rod up to the bench, replace the seals on the piston. Okay, I've got the rod mounted on the blade. As I mentioned, I have the blade off of the Dozer. I'm actually doing some repair to that pivot point. The repairs are done. So I always, you got to have a way to keep this rod from turning. This bolt or nut, in this case it's a bolt, on the end of the rod is in there pretty tight. And usually it's got some Loctite on the threads, so it's a bear to get off. And you need a way to keep it from rotating, so I drop the pin through it. You can, of course, do this while it's mounted to the piece of equipment as well. I don't have a wrench the right size for getting that bolt out, so I brought out my trusty pipe wrench, and you can see the cheater bar back there. So I'm gonna hang off of that thing, hopefully break this nut free that's on the bottom there, then I can get the piston off and the rod off, or the cap off. All right, it looks like, well, I've got the parts here on the bench. This is the piston, still a little warm to the touch, and then the cap. I've got this seal kit off of Amazon. Again, this is a Case 850C, or B rather, 850B, and so this was actually pretty cheap, $27. I ended up getting another seal kit for the angle cylinder, and that was $77. Not really sure why such a big disparity in price. I'm used to seeing something closer to $100, so this was a exceptionally cheap seal kit. So I'm going to go in here, I'm going to take out the internal seals on the cap. It's important to get the sequence correct. So when we take this apart, we're going to have to take everything out in sequence and making sure that I know which one goes at the bottom, etc. I think when I removed the piston, I didn't get that on video. I basically heated that up which I believe you saw, put the pipe wrench on and it came off pretty easy once it got hot. And maybe a little bit too hot, but didn't want to have to mess with it twice. I believe this is called the wiper seal. It's right on top. Boy, is it in bad shape. So I'm just picking this out of here. Hopefully I have the right seal kit. I'll probably end up editing most of this out or speeding it up. Just a laborious process of getting out the old seal. I know there's hundreds of videos on YouTube that show this probably much better than I am. But if you're sticking around and watching this with me, I appreciate that. Hopefully you get a good sense of what's going on. So here's the seal kit. So what I've got here is the wiper seal I just took out. What I took out is just the polyurethane, I guess, or plastic of some sort. This metal backer is still in the hole, so I'm going to get some pliers and rip that out of there. So I'm having to basically destroy this seal to get it out of there. Well, it's destroyed already. And these are press fit, size on size basically, maybe even a little tight. So it doesn't want to come out. Hopefully I don't stab myself in the hand with a screwdriver on YouTube. There we go. All right, got that little booger out. So that's what it looks like. There's I guess a wiper down there and another seal on the back side. So I'll take those out and replace them. Here's all of the waste product. Clean this up and we'll come back for a reassembly here in a second. All right, so I've got all of the seals out. I've cleaned the part off pretty good. Didn't mention there's an O-ring and another seal on the outside. So I'm gonna start there and I'm gonna work my way inside. Getting my parts over here. I don't know if I want to try to stretch that over there or go this way. Probably go this way. That O-ring goes towards the bottom under that orange seal. Okay. On the inside there was a wiper there and then another seal there. So let's put the wiper in. Alright, I'm going to make sure that those two pieces are flush where the splice is at. Yeah, remember when I told you have to remember which direction these things went? Pretty sure it was this way. Yes, because I can see my where I tried to pick it. Let's try that again. My hands are slippery. Whew, this one's a beast. All right. Almost. There we go. All right, got the seal in there, sitting nice. Didn't do any damage to it. And we got one last seal. This one here, and that one's going to get pressed in there. I'm going to use the flat surface here. Probably should use a smaller hammer. believe that's seated in there. So that's the cap. Got that finished. Let's move on to the piston. There was 2 seals around there, if you remember, that distorted when I was heating it. So those are there. Got the middle one still. That'll be this one. Nothing on the inside. Looks like I got a couple extra parts. I think I'll go look at the drawing just to make sure I got everything right. It's an interesting seal. Got a different color, and it's like a Teflon coated. It's not rubber like this one, but it's a different size. It's larger diameter. So I'm guessing I'm not using that one. Again, these kits are oftentimes have fit multiple models. So I'm not really worried about having extra parts. There's the joint right there. So oh, so there's a seal underneath. So that is the Teflon coated one. So look at that. Of course, you don't want this twisted. Feels a little bit thinner than the one I took off. And then this Teflon coated one. I say Teflon, I don't know what it is, but it's certainly a lot slicker. There's no seam in this. Oh. Just want something smooth and that I can work that down with and get some more leverage on it. Get a smaller screwdriver. Okay. Boogered up a spot right there. That'll be fun trying to get it back in the bore. All right, voila. So you want to make sure that these splits are not lined up with one another. And there goes the piston. So I'll go back over to where I have it mounted, where I have the rod mounted, reassemble this, put some Loctite on the bolt, and then we'll put it back in the bore and be done with that. All right, here we are. Put the cap back on. Get it up over this tight seal on the bottom. All right. And now the piston. Just going to clean off these threads a bit so that the Loctite has a place to adhere. I don't see that there was any Loctite on here before, but I'm going to go ahead and put a drop or two on there. Yeah, maybe not. Maybe it's all gone. Let me go see if I have some more Loctite. Okay, I got some medium strength thread sealant on the bolt here, filed down the rough edges that happen as a result of the using a pipe wrench. And so I'm going to insert this into the tube, trying not to damage the seals. So I'm going to have to relieve from some pressure here so I can get that to slide in. So I'm not going to be able to thread that in all the way. So I'm going to get a wrench, crack that fitting, and then hopefully I can drive that. There we go, got a little drippage. I'll have to look up what the name of this tool is. Called it a spanner wrench earlier, but I know that's not what it is. Maybe I'll figure out how to put it in the notes, and perhaps a link to it. How about that? There's a bunch of them on Amazon. And I'm sure many other places. I paid something like $50 and it came in a set of two. This larger one and then a smaller one. And I think that's the way they sell most of them. Alright, so I'm starting to compress the O-ring at the top. I think I might want to lubricate that just a little bit to help it lead in. Get a little bit of oil on that. Okay, I'm putting a little bit of oil on this O-ring. I threaded it in. I've got my wrench on here. Got the piston in some by breaking this fitting here so that I could relieve the pressure on the backside of the piston. And I'll just tighten this down and that'll be it. A lot of pressure on, or tension on this hose here, so I'm going to brace this up, finish tightening it down, and that'll complete the replacement of that those seals. Thanks for watching.